words always come up in my workshop: fear and dread. I want to share with you why, specifically why people fear and dread writing, why a lot of people struggle with writing. And to do that, I have to put you in a mental time capsule and take you back in time, back to the 5th and 6th grade. Anybody in here ever been in the 5th or 6th grade? Okay, got a couple of you. Good. Have a couple of you that were there a couple of times. I understand that. Yeah, I'm with you there. Okay. Probably back in the 5th and 6th grade, you went through the school system similar to the way I did. We were stuck all day with the same person. Wasn't your mother or father? Was that elementary school teacher? Now, see, I admire elementary school teachers. They have a lot of challenges. They have to teach you math and science and social studies and English and geography and eraser clapping and milk money and PTA meetings, all kinds of things they have to do. Only one of which was to teach you English. And when they put their English teacher hats on, their primary responsibility was to teach you the concept of a sentence. This sound familiar? It was way back then in the 5th and 6th grade. We were itty-bitty people. And we heard words like declarative, interrogative, exclamatory, imperative. Terrifying sounding words, right? How many of you use these words today on a daily basis? Yeah, that's what I thought. Those 4 words made a mark on our brains. We were very young. We were very impressionable. And when we heard the authority figures using these words, we could only come to one logical conclusion. Big people like big words. Could you come to any other conclusion? Declarative, interrogative, exclamatory, imperative. Only conclusion we could come to, we're looking up at these authority figures and they're using these big words. Now, not only did they have to teach you these big words, but they also had to teach you the types of sentences. And you found out that this is a simple sentence, and this is a compound sentence, and this is a complex sentence, and this is a compound complex sentence. Now, you don't even have to read the sentences. Do you understand what's going on here? Now, those teachers took a very logical approach. They started with something very simple and then kept adding on to it. But in our young, impressionable mind, what became the standard by which we thought we were going to be judged? Compound, complex sentences, right? Did anybody ever take you back here? Guess where we're going, folks. Guess where we're going. First of all, you learn big people like big words, right? Now what do you learn? Big people like big sentences. This is our interpretation of writing. And then you get out of the 5th and 6th grade, you're in the 7th grade, and what are you doing now? You have to take all of this information about sentences and put them together in a package called a paragraph. Now, I know the only 2 things you ever really remembered about paragraph writing. Actually, you don't even remember them. They entered your brain, got locked in your subconscious, and have affected you ever since. And the only reason I know this stuff is I ask people like you. What do you remember about paragraph writing? 2 things always come up as number 1 and number 2. I get 8 to 10 different answers. Number 1, number 2, always the same. Return with me now to those thrilling days of yesteryear when you had to write your very first paragraph. What's the first thing you remember about writing it? Say it!
And indent first.
Indent! This is absolutely amazing. I've been doing this for 20 years. Every time I ask that question, I get the same thing. What do you remember about paragraph writing? What do people say? Indent. What do you do now? Flush left. It's gone, right? The second thing people tell me they remember about writing that first paragraph is that first paragraph had to be 100 words. Does it sound familiar? See? It had to be a certain number of words or a certain number of sentences. Remember how we used to write? We'd pray for that divine inspiration. Please, God, let words appear. And we would write that first sentence. And what do? We counted the words. 12. Yeah, we're on our way. Pray for some more divine inspiration. Write that second sentence. What did we do? We counted the words. Now, did we start with the second sentence? We went back and counted the words in the first sentence again. Maybe it grew while we were looking for the second sentence. See, there was a number associated with it. Then you get out of 7th and 8th grade. You're now in the 9th grade, 10th grade. What kind of writing are you doing now? Research papers, term papers. Remember these things? Book report. Anybody have to do a book report? Weren't they dreadful pieces of writing? Oh, They're horrible. We're no longer talking 100 words now. What are we talking? We're talking 10 pages. Pages! Remember all of a sudden the margins got bigger? Remember double spacing? Wasn't that fantastic stuff? Back then, when you had to get up to 12 pages or 10 pages, you introduced yourself to 2 items. A dictionary and that book I can't pronounce. That's the one, yeah. I won't even try to say that one. Because back then you started doing bizarre things. Like utilizing utilize rather than using use. See, you wrote this thing. It's only 8 pages long. You can't get anywhere with using words like use. So you introduced yourself to the dictionary or that book, and you found the word utilize. The stuff dreams are made of. Because you learned some valuable lessons, the most important of which was big words fill pages. You can't get anywhere with little words like use. Plus you found out these people rewarded you for this insanity. The more big words you use, the better your grade. The better your grade, the more big words you use. And it started a cycle that's been with you ever since. Then you get into college. You spend, 30, 40, 50 hours in the classroom. That's a lot of time spent in the classroom, right? Now you realize for each hour you spend in the classroom, they expect you to spend 3 outside? Are you aware of that ratio? So at the end of the semester, they give you a final exam. What is that final exam? They give you 4 questions to answer, and 3 hours, and 2 blue books. How many of you in here have ever gone through a blue book experience? Do those blue books tell what you knew about the subject? No. Do those blue books tell how you could apply that information in real life? No. What do these blue books tell? How well you can shovel it, right? See, all through your formal education, you've had a number associated with writing. 100 words, 10 pages, 2 blue books. Big people like big words. Big people like big sentences. Now you get into the real word, and what'd you find out? None of that stuff works. And what we're going to try to do today is to work on stuff that actually works. Do you understand why people write 2-page letters rather than 1-page letters? Do you understand why a lot of people struggle? Do you understand why people are not focusing on their audience? They're focusing on themselves because they have to write big words and fill 10 pages? So we're going to turn this whole thing around. Will that give you something to think about and work on today?